Hi folks, Rick here. Today I want to talk to you about mobile toolkits that you can take with you to the races and such to make sure you have the tools that you need. So there's a couple of important things when it comes to a mobile toolkit. First one, it needs to be mobile, which makes sense, but that has to be something there that you is going to be able to be durable. Load up in the back of your truck, bounce around. There's a lot of dirt roads you got to go down. Could get rain, mud, so it's got to be something durable. If you're lucky enough to have a great big trailer, which most of us don't, you can take a roll-away toolbox or something like that with you. But the majority of us, which I'm going to focus on today, are operating out of the back of our truck. Ain't got a lot of funds, and so that's the kind of toolkit that I'm really going to reference today. The other thing about a mobile toolbox is it needs to be a dedicated set of tools. So it needs to be preloaded with stuff that's going to stay in that kit at all times. It's not going to be something you're sharing with your garage or something like that. And the reason for that, if you think about a gear bag to put all your gear in, the reason why you got a gear bag is so you can just grab that bag, throw it in your truck, and you got everything. If you put your race pants in your pants drawer, hung up your jersey, put your race socks in your sock drawer at 4 o'clock in the morning, when you getting ready to go or something like that, the chances of getting to races, and forgetting your socks or something like that is a high probability. And so the same thing could happen to your tools. You need a dedicated set that's all ready to go, set for racing. You can use it for other stuff there, but it just needs to be in a box there, ready to go at all times so you can just grab it and go. So with that, let me kind of go over a couple of different options that you have. And first off, I'm not advocate any branded tool. Get whatever brand you want. It needs to be durable enough. It doesn't get to be the top quality. If you think about the repairs that you're going to be doing out on a racetrack, it's going to be minimal. You're not doing an overhaul. You're going to be, maybe taking off a wheel, changing a spark plug. Something comes loose, occasionally. Test day, if you're doing some upgrades, sometimes test day happens to be race day, and so you get out there, realize something's loose or something's not adjusted right, you got to make some small adjustments. So you're not using a whole lot of stuff. If something needs that many tools, chances are, you're going to need to probably not make the race and have to come home and work on it then. So tools are going to be pretty basic. So a couple of routes to go. One is a kit like this, which is basically a complete toolkit. This is a Craftsman one. It's quite old. It's got a full set of sockets from 1/2 inch all the way down to 1/4 inch. Got wrenches. Used to have screwdrivers, Allen wrenches, and everything else. Nice kit if you go with something like this. The problem is, and one thing I want to point out to you on this one is I bought this one probably 25 years ago as a mobile toolkit. Just grab this thing and go. The problem with it here, you kind of look it open here. First off, you can see here that this has already came loose. Inside here, you can see some of these sockets. The first time I threw this in the back of my truck, I went up camping. A couple days in there, I needed a tool. I opened this up. All this stuff is just a jumbled mess, which is kind of already is here. And so the last thing you want to do is fight with your tools. In a box like this, it's a great toolkit. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not designed to hold the sockets and all the wrenches in as tight as you need to be. It needs to be something there. If you're going to get a mobile toolkit, you got to make sure you double check and make sure everything is nice and secure. This one's not, and it's terrible. I used it one time. Took me about 20 minutes to get everything put back together. When I got home, it was a jumbled mess as well. I straightened it out. It's been sitting underneath my tool bench for the last 25 years. I scab a few tools out of there, but a kit like this is nice. Make sure it's rugged, make sure it's secure. This is a bad example there. It's not what you want for a mobile toolkit. So a couple other examples here. All right, show you here. Get rid of this. This is why you don't want to do this out on the racetrack. But you can go with something nice and simple. So here's an example here. This is just a standard toolbox. Nice and rugged. Nothing wrong with it. Plenty of room to hold basic set of tools. Most of us on our bikes take metrics. So you need about From a socket set, you need something down to about an 8 millimeter up to maybe a 19. Set of wrenches for the same, some screwdrivers, some pliers. That's really all you need. And then maybe some specialty stuff if you feel obligated. But all that will fit in a nice toolkit like this. This has got some stainless steel on the outside. I got this one, I think, from Harbor Freight. It's probably 25, 30 bucks. You can probably get a discount on it. But there's nothing wrong with this. This right here, you can get away with this. It's rugged. It can bang around, it can fly around, whatever you want to do, it's not going to get ruined. So this is something here you can go. It's not going to cost you a lot of money. I want to show you something else here that I got that is pretty nice. That's this box here. This is a little bigger box. One thing you got to do on a mobile toolbox is got to be something you can pick up. So you don't want everything you own in the darn thing. This one's nice and rugged. It's compact. It's got good latches on both sides. It doubles as a seat. If you want to work on your bike, you can sit on this. It's got wheels, extendable handle. So it's really nice there. This is a Husky brand. I think I got this at Home Depot. On the top here, you got stuff here you can stick on top. I got wrenches, screwdrivers and stuff. And then both of these things here open up, and now you got bulk storage on the inside to put big stuff. So this thing here does a really good job of holding everything you need. I have found it really, really handy. If you come across something like this, I definitely recommend going with something like this. So let's kind of talk about the tools that you need and some of the things for good tips and stuff. So we'll start up here on the top. Again, basic stuff. You need screwdrivers and such like this. Where possible, let me kind of start off with something else. Where possible, try to get stuff in a self-contained kit. It makes it so much easier to handle. And so here's a wrench set. It's in a nice kit. I'll explain more to it later. But getting something like this that's self-contained, it's nice. If you need a wrench, you grab this whole thing. You got everything. Everything's in its place. You're not going to lose something in the dirt. A good example of this, you don't want these things just lying in a mess like that one there was. I was at a race once. I got there on Saturday. I raced on Sunday. I wanted to watch the pros race and stuff. And there was a straightaway, and a whole bunch of people camped there. I was camped a row back. And a gentleman come on his bike, was having problems with it, pulled over there in front of his camp there where his buddies were, so-called pit people. And he needed a wrench. And I couldn't really hear him. I was just sitting over there underneath my shader. And his friends were sitting there in the back of the truck rummaging for something, like rummaging through that, trying to find what they needed. I ran over, grabbed this, walked over there, handed it to him, pulled out his 10 millimeter. He needed to adjust his, or tighten up his shifter lever, and he was off. And I was able to do that before his buddies was able to rummage through their box and figure out what they need. So having stuff like this just makes it super easy, super quick. You don't lose this stuff. It's easy to find what you want. So whenever possible, find a kit. So we get back on these screwdrivers. I was able to find a pack of screwdrivers, not able to find a kit for these. Not everything you're going to find in a kit. But screwdrivers, pretty simple there. I keep them on top. I got some long ones, short ones, Phillips, standard, that kind of stuff. Something you definitely need. Pliers. Wasn't able to find a kit on that either, but you need a full set of pliers. Pliers are kind of like the duct tape of tools. If you can't find a wrench or can't find something else, pliers will get it done for you. So you need a full set. You want a set of wire cutters, some general pliers, some needle nose, channel locks, nice set of vice grips. Definitely want a set of pliers. These will really get you out of a bind when you need them. Next thing here is Allen wrenches. So this is my Allen wrench rat's nest. Now this was in a nice kit when I bought it. It was the reason why I selected this one. It was a nice kit. Everything was organized. After using it 2 or 3 times, the plastic holder that was in just disintegrated, and now I've just essentially got a mess, and it is extremely aggravating. The last thing you want to do is have to work with something like this. If I need an Allen wrench, I got to come in here, sort it out. I typically got to grab 3 or 4 of these things to, you know, hopefully I get the right size. Then I leave them on my bike. They fall off. They leave them in the dirt. I hate this thing. It's the most aggravating thing in the world, is to have something like this. And so I just bought these things here. You know, it's been probably 6 to 8 months. Good T-handed wrenches, nice set of Allen wrenches. Definitely recommend a T-handle style. This one's got, a lot of grip here, but it's also got this little one on the side where you can get some angles like this, so you can get a lot of torque on these ones. But I don't have it in here. Must be on the table somewhere. But I actually bought one of those little tiny all-in-one type of Allen wrench sets there that's got the foldable ones, just to get me by, because this is so aggravating. At some point in time, I'm probably just gonna put these back in my tool chest here in the house, and then get me another one of these things that's got these organized. These are, again, having tools like this that's just a jumbled mess where you're rummaging is the worst thing you want when you're in a hurry. I don't even like doing it at the house. So here was an example where I bought a nice kit, but didn't look at it tight enough, didn't really inspect it good enough, and it broke. Terrible design. So let's go on from here. So I mentioned wrenches and stuff like that. Again, I got this box here set up with a little more than I need. You can make your box however you like it. I got metric and standard. You don't need that. Again, most of us just have metric, but I wanted to use this for other things. I go up camping, I go up fishing quite a bit. It's just nice to grab this box and go. I use it for racing and use it for other stuff. But this is a full set of wrenches here in this box. I got a couple of them here, another set. Okay, so let's talk about some socket sets. Again, in mine here, I've actually got 2. I've got a 3/8 drive, a full set of 3/8 drive. This actually has everything in it I need. It's got metric and standard. Again, I got a little bit more. I also got here a 1/4 inch drive. Most of the stuff we work on is small. You're fine threaded. You're going into aluminum. Whenever possible, I try to use a little 1/4 inch ratchet because it prevents you from over tightening stuff. So that's just a personal preference. It's something I've been doing for years, something I like. Again, nice kit here. This is the way you want it. You can do whatever. The sockets stay nice and secure. You know, each one of them is individually got their own spot. But this is what you want. This is a good kit, something like this to look at. If you're looking for stuff, try to inspect it best you can so you don't run into a disaster like I have with my Allen wrenches. But yeah, so this is a pretty good kit. And that's about it. From here, it really comes down to some specialty tools that you might want to have. Maybe you, like one thing I've got here, I've got a set of Torx for my A-arms guards there. They take these, so I carry a pack of these with me. An extra extension. My 3/8 drive has an extension that looks just like this, but I got to get a second one so I can reach in and take the lug nuts off my rear wheel. So I carry something like this. But maybe you need a 22 millimeter for an axle nut, or a different kind of spark plug wrench or something like that. Those types of things are nice. Again, how you want to outfit your tools, how much you want to go, how minimum you want to go, it's completely up to you. There's no wrong way. A couple other things that you might want to think about that are kind of non-tool related. One, is blue Loctite. Carry blue Loctite with you. You always need this stuff. Some flashlights. I got a couple of flashlights which are kind of nice. These are always coming in handy. I carry a couple of these little putty things here. These are mud scrapers. Scraping the mud off your bike makes it 10 times easier to clean when you get home. A lot less mess. So I carry a set of these. Also, one thing I like this box is it's got this big cavern, but in here, in addition to everything else, I got a nice little air compressor. I keep in the box so I don't lose it. But that's in here as well. You do need a pump when you go racing. You don't have to have an electric one. You can use a bicycle pump. But Yeah, so it's pretty nice. So, you know, from a toolkit again, you want to make sure it's dedicated. Keep these tools in the box at all time. Don't, you know, you can use them, but don't mix them, match them with your, you know, if you got a set at the house or what have you. Keep them here all ready to go. You want a nice secure box, something that's going to be able to be bounced around. Doesn't have to be fancy. You can just get away with that small box I showed you, and you know, a small set of wrenches, metric wrenches and screwdrivers, and a set of pliers, some Allen wrenches, and you can get away probably, you know, maybe 50, 60 bucks for a cheap set there. Doesn't take a whole lot of money for something like this. You're maybe in for a couple hundred. It's not end of the world here as well. But yeah, that's it. A good mobile toolbox. You know, I highly recommend it. It's going to make your life a lot easier at the track. Not a lot of money, but hopefully this will give you a couple examples when you outfit your box.